Welcome back. It's been a breakneck week on the companies front, and we may as well start with the big daddy of the JSE, British American Tobacco, which has just magically made £25 billion disappear. Oh, to be able to impair one's own balance sheet. But I'm not quite sure why you're wearing a pair of shades.
Talking about companies now, I'm serious now. I'm getting really into the meat. So British American Tobacco, I mean, I don't know.
25 billion, that's half a trillion, it's more than half a trillion, so.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. And if you think about another Rupert company that had to do a very big 2.7 billion euros in terms of a write-down Richmond. You remember that Hughes Net-a-Porter deal that I'm not sure is going to go through because Farfetch isn't going to buy that.
Farfetch is... The whole thing's far-fetched. But that was 2.7 billion, that's the thing. British American Tobacco
is a lot of money.
As someone said to me this morning, they're writing down tobacco, it's in their name.
And no, but it's the... Is there an entry model of a cigarette? Because this is their lower end of the market. Yeah, non-premium stuff. Not your Pall Malls, but sort of.
But you're essentially saying that a huge chunk of your business is no longer viable, and they talked about having a smokeless world.
Yes.
So those are the stuff.
A smokeless future. So in other words, the vapes, the non-combustible products. And Jean-Pierre Fesser earlier on this week was saying that it clearly points to the folly of having bought the North American assets it did a couple of years ago, and it's now essentially had to write them all off because they
not
are
just that, but
valueless to its future.
Yeah, so it might be a case of overestimating the longevity of smoking in general. Number one, as the whole market, and number two, the fact that they didn't see lawmakers cracking down so fast on smoking. I mean, think about the Juul saga in North America. Yeah. So that should have been a big sign.
Menthol.
Back then.
Menthol's a big issue.
And menthol also there's big crackdown, not just in North America and Europe as well. So it's going to be very tough to be, a smoking giant in the new world.
Or an investor in a smoking giant. Would you buy shares in British?
No, look, it's always defensive, and it's got a nice 8% sterling dividend yield, but I can get proper defensive. I mean, when you're...
I don't know, between you and AQR, you guys are going to be having a tough time with smoking. Yeah. As an investor.
It was weird. I mean, even it's being squeezed from your customers don't like it, your governments don't like it, and investors will turn on you. Transaction Capital knows a thing or two about impairments, whether it's in a dying business, they're still up for debate, but what will it be if We Buy Cars is spun out? It's not exactly clear, but here's Jonathan talking up the company's future.
What we are targeting as a business and working with our funders to achieve is that we almost take a 3-year window and say to ourselves, we've been in this business for 20 years, so and we'll be in it hopefully for another 20 years. So for us, this is an important recalibration within the history or the overall industry.
So, if you take We Buy Cars and you take Newton, they did about $1 billion in profit. You put that on a 10 times PE, that's 10 billion. Stocks trading at 6 billion. I mean, is SA Taxi really worth minus 4 billion?
No, the market is asking you what else are they not telling us? What else?
Still not trusting.
And remember, once the market has that big question mark under management, I think it becomes exceptionally hard.
But I mean,
to revert to that 10 billion.
I agree with you 100%. Wayne McCurry will always say markets have memories. David Hurwitz, his famous sale is not even a year old yet, and he's now out there reading The Garden.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think the biggest loser here is the seller of We Buy Cars, because I mean they got
a lot of script they don't want anymore.
Yeah, exactly, and I don't know if that was a good deal. But let's see if they got staying power. But in terms of the actual business itself, I still think, operationally it's good, but financially, in terms of what happens in the background with accounting and stuff, can't vouch for them.
Or we could all do with a little Christmas cheer, which is why the Mondi special dividend has us almost teary-eyed. Of course, having to sell its Russian assets wasn't really on the cards 2 years ago, but that 775 million euros from the sale should go some way to making shareholder hearts happy. So it's not exactly, I suppose it wasn't in their plans, Russia invading Ukraine and having to get rid of a business which I think was pretty key to them. But how do you feel about a nice special dividend from Mondi?
You know, they call me the dividend papi. We welcome any special dividend here, any normal dividend, any, you know, distributions by a company that you invested in. Take that, reinvest, do something with it, buy Christmas presents, but I digress here.
No, but don't buy Christmas presents. 'Cause what you got, they had a functioning, nicely profitable division that would have grown into the future. Now you're getting a dividend. Go buy something that will grow.
What's going to happen next is the big question for investors of, from investors of Mondi. So what, do you sell your stock now and try to find, you know, something else for your capital, or I don't know. I mean,
Caxton.
No, why should you buy into another paper company? It just, I mean, this is probably a sign to buy
paper companies, they're packaging companies.
Well, packaging companies, same thing to me.
Okay, Bright is skeptical.
I feel Mondi has been a bit of a disappointment in the last couple of years.
Only now, but they've been an incredible allocators of capital. I'll give you that much. I mean, for years. I mean, I've started investing in the market. I wish I had bought into Mondi back then, but I didn't. So they've definitely been good in terms of capital allocation. It's just that it's been an unfortunate, you know, war that's started, you know, this current process they're in.
And are you happier getting a dividend, or would you have been happier if they'd kept the money and invested it in some other?
I'm personally happier to get the dividend, given, you know, what South African companies have done with capital in recent times,
even
in terms of allocation.
Yeah,
notwithstanding their record, I think the other players, when they see, South African company with money, they're just like, how can we rip them apart?
They see us coming, and it's 14 billion ZAR.
So it's that reputation that's, you know, at risk than anything else. So I'm very happy they actually decided to just give it to shareholders. Well done to management.
Okay, speaking of dividends, Serious Real Estate is keeping with the faith with its payouts, and it looks like the worst of high interest rates are over.
The most notable macro is that inflation is now coming off quite quickly, particularly in Germany. What that's leading to is speculation that interest rates may have peaked, and where Europe's concerned that the ECB may consider lowering interest rates at some point in March or April of next year. So it kind of feels like things have peaked, and it feels like some point in 24, looking forward, the market's going to change direction.
I agree on the peaked, but March or April.
That's far. So you and Keith McCacklin put me onto this stock back, 2011 or so, and I must say they were doing something unique, investing, it's a REIT outside of South Africa, earning good currencies before it was fashionable. Mm-hmm. But that business model turned out to not have much of a moat. We didn't lose money on it. We just sold and moved on to something else. Vukile got into it, and a couple of other REITs that had assets in Poland. UK, got around, raised capital, and did the same thing. So there's an oversupply of these companies on the JSE, and probably that's one of the problems.
What is their edge? And then they went into the UK, and what little edge they had in Germany, they don't have
anymore. No, they don't have even the edge in Germany. It's narrow because anyone with capital can go into Germany and do exactly what they're doing there. So I don't know anymore. I'm not bullish on these companies in general.
Okay, what about Alex Forbes, which some of us here had written off ages ago for being possibly the world's most boring company? Perhaps we were wrong?
I remember vividly a few years ago when the analyst told me, in your type of business, in this type of environment in South Africa, there's no growth because we don't have employment and we don't really have the markets to push you, and there's no GDP growth. So your business is at best a flat business. And because of the way we've set up the business and because of the way that we ultimately treating clients. This is a client business. So if you treat clients well and you get new business and more clients want to be your clients, then you're winning market share. And in a business where you can win market share.
And you have to steal the market share, as David will always point out. But they've done some clever acquisitions. I'm one of those who called it the most boring company in the world, and those were good numbers.
At the right price, it seems. They've been doing quite well, and obviously their partnerships with ARC and the likes, everything seems to be going well, and even the stuff they're doing in-house, converting some of their staff into not just focusing on umbrella funds, but doing their own asset management and all that, and rebranding. And I like what they're doing, and it's been exceptional. I have a big but, call me when they cross $10.
I don't know what the share price is because I haven't.
Where are they trading now? Go look at where they listed. Go look at where they are
they've
now.
done nothing. Remember they were a pref share. It was
Same with ARC also. I've got the same gripe, and ARC I've got more gripes.
More gripes.
Yeah,
It was pretty brisk on company results front this week, even if it wasn't pretty. Nampak's results were anything but attractive, most especially the incredible 335 million rand it forked over to advisors and bankers and lawyers to get itself solvent. Man, I want to be the...
I'm pretty sure they could have done this in a very
I would have
simple
done it
manner.
for just 33 million, not 300.
I don't know if... I mean, that's like what? 37% that goes to...
Yeah.
What do you call them? Helpers?
We actually saw that figure and we thought, what?
Something...
Typo.
And actually, but Rob Rose wrote a
Someone
fantastic
is a
column
terrible
on the
negotiator in that company.
Phil Roux said, that's it. When you're over a barrel, that's what they had to pay. Don't get yourself over a barrel.
So basically they had a gun on their face and they had nothing to... it's unfortunate that the companies that need it the most, they're the one that get fleeced.
The bankers make the money.
Oh, well,
And
I don't blame bankers. Bankers provide a service. It's either you take it or you don't. They come with a Rolodex. They come with the rails. I'm not blaming bankers here. I'm blaming the other company for not being good at negotiating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we could debate that next week, which will be the final show of the year. But Bright, we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining us this week.
Thank you.
Have a good evening and a great weekend.